which is an online jewelry and accessory business for women. And we do lots of things here. We are just getting started. I don't know why YouTube is really dark today, but we got 2 lights, but you guys are really dark. Sorry. Today's tutorial, but we do chats twice a week. We're going to have a chat at 8 p.m. tonight, everybody. And I have an announcement that I want to make there about a couple of things that I have started doing and how it might impact you. And it's a positive thing. So I hope you guys want to join me so we can talk about it. It's always about, our chats are about doing things that, you know, are about our creative community here that we have in making jewelry and talking about jewelry making, running our small businesses. And these are things I'm going to talk about is small businesses things, but it is something that can help everybody. Hi, Nordic Luda. Hi, Lulu. Sorry if I missed anybody in the highs and trying to get the phone and get that set up. I am going to bring up my backup account of TikTok. I do not have a backup of YouTube. And that way I can see comments, especially when we go down during the tutorial time. If I look at it, I can see them easier. But what we also do sales throughout the week. This week is a small sales week. We only have, I think, 4, maybe 4, maybe, I don't think we have 5. I think we only have 4. The schedule is out there. The updated schedule is out on TikTok as a pinned one. And then the update is this live. So I didn't put it out there for YouTube, sorry, but you guys have a short with the rest of the week. I always put my, my schedule out on Sundays. So always expect that on Sundays. Let me just do one more step to get on my backup. There we go. All right. Whew, that was a lot to go through. But we're going to have a live tomorrow. It's bring back. No, silicone sale. Silicone sale is tomorrow. And we have the cup charm wires so that you guys can make the Team Spirit bag charms. We're going to have those up for sale. We will have the breakaway clasp, and we're going to have some focals. So that is what we have for tomorrow's live. And then Friday will be our bring back. And I'll tell you what those items are tomorrow that we're going to do on the bring back. And then Friday will be our bead sale. And I am getting lots of stuff ready for that. So even the beads that we have in our example here, this is the example of what we're going to be making today. We're going to use different shaped beads because I want to show you how and talk about this one from a perspective of how you can make this in and how to measure it and that type of thing. So we're going to talk a little bit before we get started on how to do it. So what I did here is that I created a layered necklace that comes together on each side, goes up with the beads a little bit. We crimped each side into a textured chain, and then we added split ring and the lobster clasp claw. The lobster claw clasp. All right, Joya, you have a good night. Okay. Yep, 8 o'clock. And you know some of it. No, Amber knows some of it. Amber's the one that knows it. That I do not know. So, all right. So this is what I want to talk about. I was reading a comment over on YouTube and I have no idea. All right. So we're going to use, this is the textured chain here. We've used this and had this in different sizes. We're going to use that. We'll have that chain up for sale on Friday night. Then we have this shape of bead. It doesn't have to be this shape of bead. You can use whatever shape you want. We have the rondelles here. And so what I thought I would show you and kind of talk about, thank you, Emily, for the follow, is that we're going to use different rondelles for this. I do sell a lot of rondelles because I love rondelles because they just give you a different type of a bling. that's when you get a faceted rondelle, it just hits the light differently. And so we are going to use, let me get them out, a red, and we're going to use, this looks like it's a black rondelle. It looks like clear with black, but I'm not sure exactly. I did not look up the color. But we're going to use a rondelle so that you can understand how you can change the shapes. It doesn't have to be these shapes to make this necklace. What this necklace is representing with the title is simply renewal, a layered necklace. And it is about, we need to think about what do we want to sell in January and February, because we're going to get past that Christmas time frame, but we need to make up a few pieces if you have shows and you're someone that sells in January and February. If you're someone that doesn't sell, it's about wearing jewelry for the renewal of the new year. And that is why I went with the word renewal in the title, is that we're not going to think through and create something that the expectations are extremely hard. You know, when we sit and talk about, you know, for the new year, we usually set up our New Year's resolutions. And a lot of times the New Year's resolution is set and it's not attainable or something that you're going to carry on past a couple of weeks into January. So what I want to think about when I was doing this is that it's a renewal time frame. Taking what you know, adding a little bit to it to make it new, and carrying it into the new year with something that you've learned and grown, and it's not something that's difficult and unattainable. So that is why I am going with the way that I named this necklace in its design and thought process, is that we all know how to make a double, you know, two necklaces to layer on, that, you know, you could do each one of these individually. And then to me, sometimes it gets a little bulky when you have two necklaces that have the beads on it. So what I'm trying to get at, is there a way that we could do that with a little bit of a twist to it to make it so it isn't as bulky and be able to just have something new for the new year? I also wanted to talk about the colors that we have for this new year. So some of the colors going into this year is certain blues. And so that's why I went with the blue here. This is actually a blue color. It is an icy blue. And when you think about icy blue, for us up in the northern part of the United States, it's cold here. It is icy. So that is why I went with the icy blue for the blue colors. And then I added the white because we always have snow up here. So to me, this is more along the lines of like our season that we are in the Midwest. The other color that is going to be really popular for the first few months of 2026 is different shades of the brown. And what I mean by that, it is a rich brown. And I know that sounds really weird to hear, but the rich brown is more of like the ember brown, you know, where it is like that golden color of brown. Hi, Mitra. And also, you know, you can go a little bit darker into that medium tone of the brown. And so I'm going to try to bring some of that color in for the bead sale on Friday night so that you guys can see what that color is. But for our example today, the reason why I actually chose the red first, and it's just because red to me is about the Chinese New Year. I know we're past the Chinese New Year, but it was like a New Year color that isn't stuck with our seasons and that type of thing. So that's why I chose red, and I wanted a color to go with it. And when I put these two together, I was like, yep, that's what I want. So we're going to create a necklace, and it's going to have a lot of bling there with the red and then that blackish color in it. Let me tell you, I have no idea I have not looked it up what the color is. So that's why we're going to use these two beads to make this. Now, things to think about is how long you want to make your first layer. That is how you decide how long your necklace is going to be. Because when you measure from this point to this point of this necklace, this layer, that is going to take into how much do we go up on each side. So if I want to make an 18-inch necklace, and this part right here is 10 inches, that means I can only go up 4 on each side, because that's 4 plus 10 equals 18. So that is where that comes into play. Okay? So I just wanted to let you know it's going to be a math for this. Hopefully that doesn't tax some of us, because, you know, we're creative types. We're not the mathematicians. But that's the thing to think about. It doesn't matter about this one. This one just makes it like, where is it going to go down to? So in this example, this is actually an 18-inch necklace. This neck distorts because it's thinner than what it would be. This is an 18-inch necklace. And then this one is, when you put this on, it's actually an inch longer. So this would be 20. But it's not a 20-inch necklace because it doesn't start down here. This one's the closest to your neck. Does that make sense, everybody? Please let me know if my rambling here is making sense. But we do have to know what kind or what length we want to make and that type of thing. So, yes, we do have to do math. Now, I'm going to put this one aside. We need to think about, and I'm going to point you all down, how do we want to lay out our beads for the shorter necklace? And then before we go down, I'm going to show you some of our supplies that we're going to need. I did not pull any spacer beads for this. I may be pulling some from the collection behind me, but we have 2 different strand colors of glass beads. So that, and then you are also going to need some sort of chain. Unless you want to go, you can go all the way to the back with the glass beads if you want, or you could use any type of bead that you want. But I don't like putting beads back here on my neck. It is a me thing. I just don't like the feel, the heaviness of it. We also will need 2mm crimp tubes to crimp this project. You will use multiple bead stoppers. We have our bead wire. We also have, where did they go? Right here. For this, we're going to have 1 lobster clasp. This is a 12 by 6mm lobster clasp. And then we're going to use 2 6mm split rings. So I got those 2. Now the fun part. This is where we use a lot of different tools. For our split ring, to get it onto our the lobster claw clasp onto the split ring, we're going to use the split ring pliers. We need to cut our wire, the flush cutters. To crimp this necklace, we're going to need a crimp plier. And to open and close the chain, we're going to need 2 chain nose pliers. So that's the list of tools that we're going to need. The bead stop is a tool too, but it was just sitting over with everything else. So I am going to point you all down, and then we're going to start designing the first layer. So here we go. And while I'm down, those of you on YouTube, I will not be able to see comments. Sorry. All right. Here we go. Hi, Jennifer. How are you doing? I'm going to cut off some of our strand here. I just threw the bead away in my little garbage up here. Oh, we're at 10K. Oh boy. Okay, we'll come back up really quick. Oh, that stinks, Lori. I'll get this off and then we'll do 10K giveaway. And I'm going to bring you guys back up so I can see comments when I do that. Maybe. Well, I'll work on that. Hi, Cece. It almost does. A different red, though. Okay, let's pick a color. There we go. Now I'm going to see if I can get this to come off. Well, you guys guess colors. There we go. Nope. I might go with my other cutters. I keep putting back the bad ones in there, and I just need to get rid of them. There we go. All right. Somebody got it. Hold on, and I'll figure out who it is in just a second here. All right. Lori, you are the winner. She guessed the color ruby. And she is going to get this a bag of bead soup. There is naturals. There's woods. There is a heart in there of the electroplated crystal glass. We have naturals. We have another electroplated glass there. Yeah, it's brown. So that is what Lori's going to get. So those of you that were on yesterday and Lori was asking about one of the beads that was in one of the bead mix or the bead soup bags, it will be here tomorrow along with some other colors. So I have some new, it is the synthetic moonstone beads. They're a glass bead. You're welcome. We'll have more of those in stock after tomorrow. I don't know when I'm going to bring it to Alive, but we will have that one. Okay, I'm going to cut off, because this one I'm not going to make solid. You can do, I did it again. Good thing I just emptied this out. Does anybody else do that when you're opening up a strand of beads? Yep, I'm excited to get those. We have a violet, a blue violet, I can't remember what other colors. Does anybody throw away a bead when you're not supposed to? You're supposed to be throwing away the garbage. I did it twice already. Okay. Let me put you down a little bit more there. There we go. All right. Okay. So we have to decide, how do we want to design this necklace? I also am going to get my ruler out to measure things. Yes, I could put it on a bead tray, but I don't use bead trays very often. There we go. Okay, so if that would be our bottom one, or our top one, what should our bottom one be? Because it's going to be a little bit longer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five and a red. Nope, no red at the end. I like this one. Not sure about this one. What do you guys think? Should we make the top row like this? I was going to say A for yes, B for no. I like the bottom row, but you guys can tell me, do you like the bottom row? That would be, let's do Y for yes and Z for no. You guys let me know, because we have two different choices. Yes to the bottom, Lori says. Okay, so I'm not just losing it on the bottom. I'm just not sure I love the top. Okay. Should we, I'm just going to do this. Take those off. Move that over. I like the bottom, but I don't want them to be identical. No, I don't like that. I might just make them identical. I am not liking so much red in there. But maybe we'll just do 3 and 1 red, then 3 and 1 red to make it different. I think that's what I'm going to do. I like that idea better. So 3. Yes, that's it. Whoops, wrong one. Maybe just there. That's it. I do like that better. Okay. Now, for our string, each row is going to get 18 inches of the wire. Since he was in that thing, I'm cutting the end off. So we're going to do 18 inches. We're going to use one of our bead stoppers and put that on. And we're going to go up just a little bit on this one. And then start putting on the beads. This wire, it's just my beading wire. It is a 21 strand beading wire. I don't always look at the diameter of my beading wire. I look at the strands more. Ooh, yeah. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this on camera because it's kind of off to the side a little bit here. But when you put that together, I like that. I like that better than having the red as the major color. And I went into this thinking red was going to be it. Hi, Kelly. How are you doing? Good. Now, this one is going to be this strand right here. If you're going to make this an 18-inch necklace for this one, I would suggest to go between 8 and 10 inches so that you can have a lot of the beads before you're going to go into the chain. If you go shorter, you're going to have more chain look than you will the beads. If you want to have it be longer, you sure can. But I'm usually with 18 going to be in there. So let me see where I'm at on the length. I'm only at 4.5, so I have a ways to go. So I'm going to add more on without laying it out. Yep, I'm here. How are you doing, Miss Rose? I'm going to see where we're at now. One more will get us into that 8 range. So here we go. This afternoon, or it's supposed to be New Year. There we go. That is our first row. It is 8.5 inches. So we need to remember that 18 minus 8.5 will be 9.5. That means I need on the sides a total of 9.5 divided by 2 would be 4 3/4 inches. Okay, I haven't looked at the one when you sent the invoice because I did add on those cubes that you asked for, if I got them right. All right, so here is for the second strand, another 18-inch piece of wire. Once again, we're going to get a stopper. We're not going to put it on the end like we normally do. You're going to go in a little bit and put that in there. Okay, now we're going to do our second row, which is the row of 5. Oh, okay. I will look. I remember you sending that email and I forgot about it. I was going to email you back and ask you, did you want circle? Or it's not going to be a circle. That would be either like a teardrop or an oval or a rectangle. Which size or which shape, I mean. I was going to send, I knew I was going to do that and then I didn't do it. I just need to say in emails and do things right when I think of it. I feel like I have about a bazillion things going through my mind and I miss oval. Okay, I will look and see if I have an oval of that size. Okay. You want to, on this one, so you get that layered look to it, you need to have the second one be at least an inch longer than the top. And sometimes, depending on the bead style, you might want 2 inches. It went really good. I didn't get home until after 7:30. So that is why I have chosen not to do lives on those nights, because I would be stressing out. And I'm trying to find ways to not stress out and trying to do everything. So that's why once a month on Tuesdays, I will not be live at night. All right, we will do that in just a moment. Thank you, Lulu. All right, we're right at 8.5. I need to go a little bit more so that we are, there's 5. 5. Where are we at now? We're at 10. Okay. Now, how you decide if you like where these lay at, how I do it is I go and I put my finger where both of these come together. And then I decide, do I like that space in between them? And I actually do. And I like that the reds are not right on top of each other, because that's not what I want either. So I actually do like this. So I am going to put a bead stopper on this end so I don't lose any of the beads off while we do the 20K. I know. And that's one thing I'm trying to reduce in my life, is trying to find ways to run the business and not stress. Literally. All right, we got to come up with a second color. So let me put a color in the chat. So everybody go ahead and put colors in the chat. Well, yeah, stinker, I didn't want you to fall off. Ooh. I want you guys to see that one. We got some cool ones in there. Okay. I did write her name on that one. There. This is really cool. I'm liking these together. Someone got it. Let's see who got it. Whoops. I forgot to put this on the thing and it's coming unwound. Hold on. I will get that in just a second, but I want to get this so that it doesn't keep unwinding. I keep knocking it and it keeps unwinding. There we go. Janet, you are the winner of this bead soup. Congratulations. She guessed the color cyan. So in this one, you have some metal beads in there. You have the natural. You've got some glass. There's opaque. There's faceted glass. And then there is this electroplated. And then on this side, we have an acrylic there and there. We have some more naturals. And then we have the blue snowflake, blue resin, and then an electroplated there. So there is Janet's bead soup. Congratulations. Let me write your name on it so I can put it in a basket for you. There we go. Yep, that's all it takes. Hi, everybody on YouTube. We are in the middle of making a necklace, a 2-strand necklace. So here's what it looks like so far. So now what I need to decide to do is up the sides here. What do I want to do? Do I want to do black? Do I want to do a combination of black and red? Or do I want it to be red? And I think I am going to do a combination of the black and red, but I do have to get a second bag of the black. What that means is that we're only going to have 18 to sell, which is okay. Because I think there's 18 in there. Yeah. Yep, so we're going to have 8. We have 20 to begin with, and now we'll be down to 18. All right. Oh, geez. This is like butter. So much better. Somebody was filtered on TikTok. Okay. Now, I want to show you something that we need to think about as we're doing this. We are now going to put both strands together and do it up. But do you see how I have a very short one right here? I want them to be, they don't have to be equal in size, but I don't want a short one. So I need to come over to the other side and let some of that come through. There we go. What I do at this step, just to let you know, is that I end up using my bead stopper and put both sides together. Yes, there is. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is that I'm making changes in the back end so that life isn't so stressful. And it's better, and these things are better for you. So just to let you know. All right, so I think what I want to do, I got to point you guys down so you can see what I'm doing. I just thought about that going, I don't want to lift this up. And then I'm like, no, you got to go down. All right, I put one black bead on when I didn't realize it, so I just took it off. I am going to put it back on. There we go. And do you see how we have some space in this one here? I'm going to find out which one that is and pull it up, just so that both of them can come together, and you will see how it will go together. So you see how that comes in there and nestles in there? And I think I want to do like 3 black. Like so. And then a red. And maybe just 2 black or something. I'm going to see what this looks like and decide if I like it. Nope, I need 3 black. I just got to make sure I leave enough room for me to put my closure on, or my chain on. So here is, I'm going to put that on there so I don't lose it. That is going up the side here, the beads. So I'm going to show you on our example what I'm talking about. It's this right here. That is what we just made. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing on these, on the opposite side. So 3 black. One red and 3 black. But if you notice, both of these have some space in it, so I want to bring that space down. There we go. We got rid of it. And 3 beads. There we go. I got one more to put on. Whoops. There. And then I'm going to put my stopper on. So now this is what it'll look like on there. When you're wearing it, it'll be like this. I like that. Sorry, YouTube, if you can't see it. YouTube's at a different angle. Now, to figure out my length of what we have going on here, I'm just going to straighten out this top row and measure. We have 12 inches of beads here. Give or take, there's a little bit of room in each one of these, so around 12 inches. So if I now, you know, we were looking at that we needed 4, we're going to erase that. We're going to say 18 minus 12 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. Our length of our chain is 3 inches on each side. So I can go in here. Before we do that, I want to take, not that, I need this tool. This is my split ring tool. I'm going to take my 6mm split ring, open it up on the tool, like so. Grab my lobster claw clasp, put that on there. Now grab one of my chain nose pliers and just spin that 6mm split ring around until we've got it on our jump ring. That's not a jump ring. This is a lobster claw clasp. Now go and take 3 inches of chain, open up one of the links, because I always use chain that opens. I don't like using soldered chain. Open it up by going one towards you, one away. Take that off, take your clasp and put that on. Close this up. Whoops, he jumped off. We're going to close that up like that. And now we have half of our closure on our chain. Now we're going to take, you're going to find this kind of funny, but I take my chain and I just go down and I go, okay, I need to open this one so that they're the same length. Because if I measure them, I might be one link off in the length. And by putting them together, you're like, okay, this is equal. Take that, open that up, that link, put on a 6mm jump ring or 6mm split ring, close that up, and we have the other end of our closure on our chain. All right. Now I need 2mm crimp tubes. And I just poured out a whole bunch. There we go. I only need 2. Okay. What we're going to do is, you see how my length of my wire is not the same between the two? It's easier to do if you cut them the same or right around the same, so that you're not having to go through one and then try to get the other one. So I just cut off and make them equal. I take my crimp tube, I put it on both of the wires, push it down, and this is going to seem weird, and this is why I said put it in the middle and have length on both sides. Put it down to the bead. Take one of your chains, the end that doesn't have the closure on it, put it on the wires, go over the top and back through the tube. And if you can get at least one of the beads, do that. And we did that. Come on. One of them's going, one is not. Sometimes you might have to grab your pliers to get both of them to go. There we go. There. Push down that bead. Do you see how we have some space here? Let me bring that up close so you guys can see that space. We want to get rid of that space. Sometimes it works to lay it down, move your crimp tube back to the bead, hold that crimp tube with your finger, grab the pliers and pull the wire. And you just have to fiddle. There is no other way to call this than fiddling to get that out. Now, I don't want to make this so tight that when I have this on here, that this will not move. I want to be able to have it move, but not have a big, huge amount. Like that is a good area to be in. I have a video on here for crimping that looks at it from down, like how you do it. I would suggest watching that video. The video is on YouTube. When I say where it's on here, it's on YouTube. We're going to hold this. We've got 2 circles on your crimp plier. We go to the back one closest to the handle first and create the U like a hot dog, open hot dog bun U. So there is what that looks like. You see how we've got that crimped? Whoops, let me get that to focus for you guys. There you go. Now we're going to turn that away from me, facing you. We're going to go in the front oval, and we're going to smash those 2 sides together. So it looks like that. And that is how you crimp. We're going to take this bead, put it back. We're going to grab our cutters, our flush cutters, and we're going to cut that wire, excess wire off. And there we go. Now, we are going to make sure that we do not have any extra room on this end by going like this and holding it down. We're also going to make sure that we don't have any excess wire like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull on these wires. And you saw me pulling and this went up, but you didn't see me pulling right here because I was up too high. But that is how you will get those to be together like that. Hold it like this. It's not going to fall off because we've got our crimp tube on there. And just pull on whichever one we need to tighten up. We're going to grab our crimp, whoops, we got to make sure our wires on this side are very close together, so I don't have to cut anything off. We're going to take our crimp tube and put it on both wires at the same time here, like that. We're going to grab the other end or other piece of chain that doesn't have our closure end on it. We want just the chain end. And we're going to put both pieces of wire through this. We're going to hold it with our thumb for the crimp tube and bring the wire back around, go through the crimp tube. And if you can get through at least one bead, do that. And we did that here. You'll see we've gone through the bead. Our wires are coming through. We're going to pull that way. We're going to hold this down and get everything tightened up and get our wire, excess wire out. But not too tight, but tight enough. And that's the hard line to find. So I want this to be able to dangle, but not have too much. And there we go. We got it. Grab our crimp pliers again. The back oval, we are going to smush our U in there, turn that U away from us, and then smush it again. Put our beads down, hold our wire with our fingers, and then come in here and cut off the excess wire. Not all of the wires, just the ones that we want to get rid of. And there we go. I'm going to grab my neck and then I'm going to go up so you guys can see this on the neck finished. There we go. All right, here we go. Oh, geez, we can do 30K here. Woohoo! Just give me a second, Lulu. And I will try not to forget like I did yesterday. Nordic Luna had to remind me. All right, just trying to fiddle to get it there. Not liking this one 100%. I will probably go back and get rid of some of the gap in here. Oh, nope, there we go. I'm good now. I just had to move it. All right, there we go. There is our finished necklace. And see, it's just something that, with the way that we did this, do you see how this is going to come up? And you're not going to see it if you have at least like hair down to your shoulders. You're not going to see that chain and not have that bulk in the back. Your hair's not going to get stuck in the beads, that type of thing. So that is how you do it. It is not that difficult to do. And you get that nice layered look. Oh, those are your favorite colors? So yeah, so I just wanted to show you how you can take, and this, whatever beads you are using, the same concept is there. Doesn't matter what shapes they are, that type of thing. It's about just getting your links to look and lay right. And like I said, this one is going to be the length of what you want for that. This one is going to be a little bit over 1 inch more or 2 inches. If I wanted a little bit more gap than this, because this is 1.25 inches in between these. If I wanted a bigger gap, I could put some more of the beads on this bottom layer to get it to come down a little bit. But I liked it with the smaller beads to be closer together. So it's all about what you like in making that. Ah, thank you for the heart, Mimi. All right, so we're going to do our 30K giveaway really quick here. I know, Adriana. I'm just like, geez. Lulu, that's funny. Yep, and the thing is that it's all about what beads you put together. Now, had I literally, when I saw this one yesterday and these beads, I really liked it. I just wanted to grab the beads that I really, truly like. And I'm like, I like that one too. Oh, it's always recorded, Adriana. I almost forgot to record it. So that's what I was going to say. You can use any colors, any kind of bead, but just think about if you're going to wear it in the winter, wear the wintry colors. Let's see. Let's go with this color. There we go. So think more winter when you're doing it that way. That's all. Neither one is right or wrong, but just think about what colors. And it's a way that you're going to be able to use what you know with a little bit of a change to make something new going into the new year. And that's what I wanted to teach today. I'm picking up the beads while you guys are guessing. There we go. These can go there. We're going to keep this here. There we go. I'm picking up my desk while you guys are guessing. Thank you for the gift. I didn't get to see who it was. Somebody got it. Somebody got the color, but I'm going to pour the bead soup here. Ooh, that one's cool. Ooh. Ooh, that one's a cool bead. All right, let's see who it is. Dark Angel Dragon. All right. You are the winner. She guessed the color white. So I'm assuming your first name is Nikki. If it is, and are you okay with me calling you that? If not, we can call you Dark Dragon or Dark Angel Dragon. My question is that I don't think I have your mailing address and email. If you can message me that, then I can mail this to you. No problem, okay? But here is what you're going to get. You're going to get a bag of bead soup, and it has metal beads in it. It has, this is the one that I was oohing at the end. I'm going to take it out. Yep, all it takes is one right guess. And this, you're going to have one of the electroplated skulls in there. So you have that bead, you've got some acrylics. You also have, there is one of the brown flowers that is an electroplated crystal glass. So that is your bag of bead soup that you won today. You're welcome. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for playing with us. I appreciate it. We are not, or yes, we will be live tonight with chat. Yes, it is awesome. I'm like, because you can make little cool things out of it. And some people actually can make a whole bracelet out of it. I wouldn't be able to, but I'm like, ooh, we can make, sometimes you can make earrings, or you can use some of the beads for the spacer beads. You can make the rings. So where you're going to find today's recording for the tutorial that we just did, it is the Simply Renewal Layered Necklace tutorial. Yay! Well, welcome in. If you go to CJS logo at the top, CJS logo at the bottom, you get to my profile. In my profile, there is a line that says Lemonade. Touch that. Then down below, touch the one that says the tree in it. That gets you to a list. That list, if you go all the way to the bottom, will get you YouTube. All of my my chats and my tutorials you will find over on YouTube. So as soon as I get off, I start the upload process so that it will be out there. It does take a little bit of time, so I would say by like in an hour or so, it should be loaded there so you guys can watch it on replay. But that is where you can always watch any of my tutorials or any of the chats. Well, hello, Teresa over there. I was going to say, she's normally over here. So yeah, so that's how you can watch anything that we've done here. We will have a chat tonight. I was going to say, if you want to, please join me tonight, because I want to talk about some changes that I'm making in the back end that may or may not affect you, because back end stuff doesn't always affect you, but it could. And it allows me to do some things to make some things easier for me in the long run. So I want to explain why I'm making the changes, what you may or may not see, and going forward. Oh yes, you're very welcome. And also, okay, go into messaging me. Can you send me a DM and just send me your address and email? If you send me an email, then I can give you when it's mailed out, and you get an email on that. So if you want to do that, that would be helpful. I don't send out emails. I haven't gotten that tech savvy. We're in the process, but you have to subscribe to it. So, and by me going in and doing it that way, you don't get subscribed to them. So you won't get emails. Hi, Rainbow. But I just want to talk about some changes that I'm making. And I don't know if anybody saw today's video, but did you, like, hands, do a hand, if you can do a hand thing in the chat with an emoji. Did anybody see the video about where you can get tools now? I have put all the tools that I have in stock right now, besides bead mats. I still got to get bead mats out there, but they're out on my website now underneath tools. So if you wanted to have you wanted to order some of the chain nose pliers, you can go in, and you don't have to wait for a live anymore for me to bring tools in. You can just go there and, just do an order on my website, and you can have tools sent to you. Yep, on my page. I do not do the one-step looper because it had been patented, and there was only one company for the longest time to make it. I don't know if that has changed or not, but I am not a reseller of that item, so I do not do one-step looper. That comes into, we talk about copyrights, licensing, and trademarks. One-step looper is in that category. Right now, I have the 6-in-1 bail maker. I have the chain nose pliers with and without a wire cutter in them. We have the loop turners in big and small. We have the flush cutters. We have bent nose pliers. We have long nose pliers. I'm forgetting some other things. The awls. I think they can now. I think that went into it, but I haven't found them yet. Because that just is happening, let me tell you. So, yeah. And because as you get to certain points, then there's things that you can do when you hit certain limits, time limits, but I haven't gotten any yet. What else do I have? I have 10 different items out, or 12 different items out there. The bead stoppers, just to let y'all know, will be in the order tomorrow that I'm receiving tomorrow. So I know, Patty, you want some, so I'll add those to your invoice after I open up the boxes and figure out which one. I have 5 boxes coming. Yes, I have the chain nose like these, and then I have the long nose is what I have. To me, long nose is needle nose, but then sometimes people call these needle nose. And I'm like, okay. Round nose, I have round nose. So yeah. On CarolJo's.com, it's the same place you go when you go to pay your invoice. If you would click one of the emails, if you have one outstanding, and it says to go to the website, just click that and you'll go there. On the home page, the very first thing in the banner on my home page is tools. So yeah, so I announced that today, that those are out there. That has been something that I've been working on and trying to get. The gorgonias that we have sold in the past, I am waiting for those photos to come back from editing. And once I get those, I will put the gorgonias out there. So we'll work on getting some of those items so you guys don't have to wait for bring back days. I want to get some of those items out there as soon as possible. So that's part of our changes, is that we're going to have things on the website now. So just to let you know, because sometimes what also happens is you know what, this month there's not the money, and then you're like waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for me to bring it back. Now you don't have to wait and wait and wait. So some of those items I can put out there and you can grab them right away whenever it's convenient for your budget. And so and I'm not good at taking pictures of beads, but I have, of all things, we both worked for the same company that I was at until February. And she's no longer there. I'm no longer there, but she does photography. So I asked her if she would start doing photography for me. So that's how this all came about, is because I have someone that can help me. Because we all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. And knowing what is your strength and what is your weakness is one big, huge step in being able to run a successful business and being able to find people who can help you out with your weaknesses. That's what I'm just going to say about that. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, honey, I need help with pictures. So that's how that all came to be, and that we're going to start seeing that. But I am still waiting for the photos to come back from editing for the gorgonias. And once I get those, I will put those out there. So so I'll just create, I believe it will be noon my time. Let me double check. I think that's when or tomorrow is silicone, so it might be 1. I keep thinking tomorrow is Friday, everybody. Okay. Tomorrow is for silicone, 1 p.m. Central. So silicone will be tomorrow. So this is what my schedule is like for the rest of the week. Tonight, 8 p.m. chat. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. for silicones. No live tomorrow night. Friday, bring back at 12. Beat sale at 7. No lives on Saturday. That's what our schedule is going to be like for the next 2 days. 3 days. Today, tomorrow, and Friday. All right, everybody, I'm going to hop off. I am going to prep some stuff for tomorrow's live. I've got it all pulled, but I create spreadsheets for our lives and that type of thing. So I got to prep that stuff. So we will be back tonight at 8 p.m. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody.